Yo, it's been a minute since I've been on here. How you guys doing? Just been low key, not feeling so good recently. I think the mic sounds a little different today. Let's see. Probably because of a new update. Anyway, I'm gonna go over some of the trades taken. Trade setups overall from the week. Obviously, draw is pretty clear on ES. Should be going for a pre-stay high at some point in time. But for ES, these are potential setups yesterday. And I'll go over them on the stream here real quick for y'all. But basically this first one was this 1 hour POI here. We got confirmation, took it, and could have went break even. Definitely had space to go break even, but -1 there. And then we had this low here to sweep because there's nothing else below here. After we mitigated this, we failed to go higher. So if we failed to go higher from here, I'm looking for price to take out the low. Once it takes out the low, then I trade the upside. And I told everyone I was looking for an upside from here. Obviously, if we went past higher even further, you could have taken not just this long here, but you could have also taken the short from here with entry models. And then last but not least, what happened here was price hit a 15-minute POI. And that 15-minute POI, if you're on the lower time frame, factually, use what I teach, aka the POC. Here's a POC, it got hit to the tick. And that's what happened. You could have taken a nice quick little short from the POC. Your target would basically be the lows. Everything looks fully mitigated here. We mitigate this right here. And then obviously equal lows went higher. And then if you just go to the higher time frame, price eventually did want to take out all these lows here. London session, A session low, all the way down here. I think this is FOMC today. So we did have some very big spikes. Don't ask that. So those were the setups here. If you're wondering what setup this 4R was, this is just a stop hunter setup, really covering the buy to sell here. Again, your target is just the low here because you're trying to sweep this low, and then you can take a nice little reversal off of that once you sweep that. That's an A+ setup. If you keep in mind time here, you know, we're in the afternoon session, there's gonna be less volatility. It's not as ideal to target this. Sure, you can, I guess, but once you see price really not going for it and market's about to close, you also want to just close out your trade. If we analyze this, basic price went lower. And then today, I didn't take any trades. Today was FOMC. And usually during FOMC, like right before it releases around 2 p.m., you're going to get a lot of chop. And so you don't really want to be trading right before FOMC. You can trade right after, but keep in mind like where your draw is if you're trading right after. So FOMC is this candle here. This is your data wick. All right, so 2 o'clock, and I delete everything on my chart so it doesn't lag anymore. This is your data wick. This is your data wick. Take out the high, you look for a short. Take out the low, you look for a long. Long did go back in premium. So you could have TP'd there. Your TP probably is going to something on the 5 minute, something here probably. We went lower. And if you want to see why we went lower, there is this right here. You have to add 1 hour here. If you draw the sell to buy here, there's a 1 hour sell to buy. And so that's where price reacted off of. So you could have longed off this sell to buy here on the 1 hour. So definitely some nice moves. For example, you could have taken a winner here, a winner here, a winner here. If you were targeting the high, it's a loss. And you take a winner here. And then obviously, if you're expecting us to go higher, since we did take out all this liquidity, basically all this here is high time frame inducement on the 4 hour, 1 hour. So once you take that out, you can expect the price to go for all-time highs. And so then you just switch your bias here and go for stop under setups. That's basically it. It's not that difficult, guys, trading. Too many guys might be overthinking situations, or you just don't have enough experience. If you don't have enough experience, then that's obviously an issue. This is a setup here. Boom. There's your stop hunter. So there's plenty of, I thought I was going to pull out today for how people traded, but plenty of good trades today they could have taken after I went for FOMC. Traded before. I don't really see anything here before. You might have taken a loss here, potentially, like 1 or 2. But if your green days are usually 4, 5, 6 risk reward, loss doesn't really matter. This is where my stop loss would be for stop hunter. And then obviously stop hunter, you can target what you want. Keep in mind this is 3:15. Market by close. When you're trading close to market closure, you don't really want to have far TPs because there's not as much volatility as during your session open. So your TP will be here for 3 risk reward. That's another example of an entry. So that's done going over today on ES. Here's gold today. Take this off to 15 minute. OB and Jamal. What do you target? Just a high time frame analysis. Some members sent this in the Discord, but this would be your inducement here. This would be your supply here. Matter of fact, I think we took out all-time highs here. All right. And so once you take out inducement, you can expect a downside move on a lower time frame, which is what we had. So if you take out inducement, you could have taken a nice short after you take out inducement right here. So our entry would be, depending on what entry model you want to use, something like this. Target a 7 sword, or you go for that 4 sword. Either one works here. That would be a TP. There's no entry model to the upside. You wait, so it's 7 and 6. So you could have made like 15, 14 risk reward trading, just gold today. And then for the inducement part, all you're doing is just trading the trend. So you find a stop hunter here, or you wait this out, because when you're in consolidation, sometimes price does take out multiple lows instead of just like one singular low. So sometimes you can wait it out and find an entry model. But your draw, as long as your draw is correct, I know someone in the private trading group sent out their draw and they got it correct. Just running the inducement. That's what you want to do, and boom. There's easy 7 risk reward. Your target ideally would just be this, to be honest. Unless you want to target the 50 minute below, you can. And then the longs are, this is your A plus setup here. Taking the longs out the 15 minute. After you take out liquidity, remember, as soon as you take out liquidity, you want to look for the PY right below. Got the entry model. You just target the high. Trading the trend, that's it. And ultimately, this thing skyrocketed. However, if you were targeting all-time highs, you get stopped out here. Because, if you go on the 15 seconds, price ultimately liquidates people that held the trade first before going for that all-time high. So, something to be aware of. Liquidations occur a lot. Big wicks occur a lot during big news releases like FOMC. You want to be careful. Some fundamental stuff also recently can cause more volatility, like Jerome Powell cutting interest rates. Okay, I believe he cut it up by 25 p recently. So just keep these things in mind when you're trading, and you should be improving, to be honest. For gold draw, I think we should be going higher because this is the original setup on gold. Just never hit during the session. But I'm seeing the 15 minute there. It's even in line with the 1 hour, somewhat the 4 hour. I don't see anything else before that. So I'm seeing bullish on gold if you're trading gold. And then this is the data wick, I believe. Nope, this is not. What is this? The data wick is right here, 2 o'clock. So yeah, you could have taken both sides. You could have won. This one here and this one here. How do you take this? Remember, whenever I say if it's like only like 3 candles or a small range, aka not a lot of candles, all you do is take an entry on the seconds. And then you'll be able to catch the move. That's basically it. Nothing too complicated here, as you can see with my trading. Nothing too complex. If you miss a stop hunter, there's a stop hunter here. Depending on where you want to cover your stop loss, you might have still be in this trade. Who knows? It's not great risk reward though, so you either be more patient or you take that 1 risk reward, or you wait for this internal low as well. If you go to the 5 minute, there's no 5 minute nearby internal low aside from down here. At this point, if it's already down here, you might as well mitigate this. So you just switch time frames. Usually I don't use 2 minute or 3 minute, to be honest. I like to stick to the 1 minute or 5 minute. If you use the 2 minute, sure. This is the 2 minute low. This would not be a low on the 2 minute because of it's a bullish candle. It's not a bearish candle. Pullbacks have to be bearish candles for your internal structure. And that's basically the gist, man. And then you can just use my indicators if you want for directional bias. I mean, today on ES, you could have had both directions. We were mostly bearish, though, I'd say for sure. But either way works for bias today. So feel free to mess around with the settings with the ETU Elite Indicator. I just have everything that I use enabled or saved by default, so you guys don't have to mess around with these settings once you get access to the indicators within the WAP. You can get them separately monthly, or you can just get them for lifetime with the mentorship. In terms of student results, we can go over that if you guys want. All right, let's see. We have the past month. We had Tyler requesting a payout, some few other people requesting, and then another mentorship student that requested. He's going for, I believe he said like a 10K payout, 5 figures. So, no, trading so far has been looking good. People are complaining about the conditions recently. I don't see any issue with the conditions, to be honest. I think people just immediately blame the conditions when they start losing in trading. That's just how it is, unfortunately. And you just have to have a robust system. A system that's tested across multiple different conditions, because if it's not, then that's where you can go wrong. So just giving you guys examples of trades, for example. You could take 1 or 2 losses here. You take a massive winner here, winner, winner, winner. Again, you don't take this one here, never mitigate the sell to buy. If you go to a different time frame, maybe there's a different PY you're looking for. Who knows? So maybe like the 4 hour here. To be right here. If that hit, then you probably take that. Yep, that did hit. So depending on how you take this, might be a loss before the winner. But we trade high risk reward here, aka your winners or your losers are not going to affect your P&L that much, as long as your win rate's in control. For those that just joined, you want to see what happened yesterday. -1, 4, and 2. And then during ADA session, I was marking this out as anticipation for structure because I was seeing this demand here, going to buy basically here during ADA session on Monday. So whenever draw is clear like this, I like to trade it, even if it's during like ADA session, for example, because I know people are probably shorting this, trying to counter trend, and I'm just buying it up. This is a PY hit to the tick right here. They can get the initial entry, did not get this. All right, my trade idea was all the way back here during ADA session, and there's an entry model right there if you want to take it to the upside. And I'll be using my entry model here. What's up? Is that a sign? Didn't get a notification? Oh, that's weird. Not sure why. But yeah, just pretty monotone today. Haven't been feeling too well health-wise recently, so haven't been as active on here, on the stream. But just going over basically how I'd see the market here. Again, gold should be bullish. This is what I marked out back then during ES, during Asia. 3 trades yesterday. All right, -1, 4, 2. Didn't take the shorts. There were shorts here, taken down here, shorts here, take down here. There's a lot more setups than you guys may think in a given day. And then this is just marking out consolidation. All right, typically before FOMC, we will get consolidation, and usually yes, FOMC specific, because that is during afternoon, 2 p.m. Most other news releases are during the morning, 10 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. and all times are in EST. So if you traded here today before FOMC, you probably got chopped up. I'm gonna be honest, based on what I see here, it does look very choppy. But it's fine. You take 1 or 2 losses here, maybe some break evens, and then you take this London session low sweep. You're still in this trade here, equal lows, you're still in the trade. Just even a re-entry. If you got stopped out somehow for whatever reason, you shouldn't be though. And I mean, this is an absolute banger here. I didn't take this, but this would have been a trade you could have taken. It's the 8 risk reward in front of your face, guys. It's crazy. Now, if you missed it, there's a 12 RR using my entry model on the 1 minute. Yes, I'm seeing we should be going for a previous day high here soon. We are stuck in supply, but we failed like twice already, so don't think that supply is going to hold. Gold, like I said, I'm looking bullish on gold. We might get a retracement down, so for you guys that want a long gold, because we took out this internal high. But overall, if you think about it from a bigger perspective, sub liquidity, we are bullish. Took it out twice, in fact. And if we want to go lower, we should be at least mitigating here, because there's nothing else that I see to mitigate. Again, I thought this was a data wick here, but this is like 201, so it's not. Data wick high and low already got taken on gold. If you guys are still struggling with trading, or you're still in your trading journey, you can put it down below in the chat. What do you think specifically you're struggling with? Be specific if you can. I don't want like vague answers like everything, or I'm always getting stopped out. Be specific. Here to help you guys here on the stream. If you took some trades, send them over. Could look over them, but if you already know what you did wrong, then there's no need for me to look over them. Especially if there's emotional trades, then there's no like critiquing those. Just doesn't make sense. There's nothing critique, because emotions is just, it's a you versus you game. What I teach you is what you learn from me, but ultimately it's you hitting the buy or sell button intraday. I see most people, I have the beginners boot camp up right now, and it should be like, we have I think 4 more episodes left of that. So enjoy the rest if you're new to trading. Mainly for people that are new. If you're not new to trading, I mean, you might get something out of it. I know some people have messaged me saying they did get something out of the bootcamp videos. So, nothing wrong with watching them, even though you know everything already. Maybe just as a refresher, or just to see if you missed anything from your foundation wise. But yeah, there's 4 more episodes of that, and then after the bootcamp ends, I'm probably just gonna do trade recaps. I sent a poll out to Discord, and it seems like most people are looking for trade recaps in streams, not really the bootcamps. So I don't know. The bootcamp was just a test run, just to see how much interest there is. Some videos people are a lot more interested in others. Obviously, pretty straightforward, but it's just how the algorithm works. Strategy videos just do so much better than beginner videos where people actually want to learn and build a foundation for their trading. But for the most part, yeah, most people do want to see more live streams, so I'll try my best. Probably when I feel better to do more live streams for y'all here. Just don't want to do live streams really when the energy is low, pretty low. If you guys want, I can mark out like setups in a way if you want to be scalping the market. So for example, someone wants to just scalp. You take this here. Here's your IFVG. Body closure above, you take that. Stop loss below. Go for a 1-to-1. This is not a 1-1, so you have to either tighten up your stop loss or have a static 1-to-1, which it just barely misses. That's one scalp right there. Another scalp is when you take out the internal high, aka bullish candle in a downtrend. Enter here, stop hunter, cover the next high. There isn't really a next high. Next high is all the way up here, which is not realistic at all to cover. Hence, I take this high and you go for a 1-to-1. Or in this case, if you want to trade back to the OB, this Forest Sword. And then, guess what? You have your limit order here. As soon as you get filled for a Forest Sword, you kind of have your fill order like slightly right before this next one gets executed, because you can't technically be in the same trade at once. Sometimes it glitches and it's weird. On futures, if you're on Forex, it's going to work fine. But futures specifically, it's kind of, sometimes it glitches and does some weird funky stuff. So if I was to scalp this, I have my TP for the short a tick before, and then my limit right at the OB. And then you get your nice, what time is this? This is close to market closure, so if I was trading this, I'll just go for that next high there. And so that would be the trade. Scalping. So there's 3 wins there. If you wanted to take them. I don't see any other setup here. If you took an impulse model, I guess you could have taken a loss here. But there's also a win here off the impulse model once we take out this high. So what that looked like is candle break, stop above. TP is obviously going to be either that inducement or the PY right below. If it were in a time range, I'll just target the PY below. There it is. There's your 2 risk reward. Actually, no, sorry. It's about 2 risk reward. And then you have 2 winning back-to-back setups. This is like 14 risk reward. Can't go wrong with that. Earlier in the day, it's just straight OB continuations. This one missed. There's probably something on the 5-minute, I assume, there. This isn't a PY I'd probably take because it's not in 50%. So I'd miss this long here. The stop hunter here, that's the next thing I see visibly to the naked eye. You take this. And again, why am I bullish here? Well, because going the higher time frame, this is inducement. We're going to run that high. So you just basically trade to run that high. In this case, your stop loss barely holds because look, sometimes we will do double sweeps back to back for stop hunter. And that's why I have my stop loss down here to be safe. There it is, 2.4. And then that goes straight into your next short. If you want to short the inducement, or you wait to trade the continuation down here. Some of you guys are probably waiting for price to come all the way down here to trade the continuation. It just doesn't make sense because if price on the higher time frame wants to deliver internal candle continuation, candle to candle, remember, price on the lower time frame is not going to create big ranges. It just won't. You have new value, new ranges here to trade. You have liquidity already here. There's no reason for price to come all the way down here unless it hits something on the higher time frame, aka boom. And there it is. Once it hits that, you don't even get confirmation to long anyway. Just liquidates everything here. I do have the Discord server pinned. If you want to join the free Discord server, but that's basically running over like gold, potential setups, wins and losses, of course. And that's basically it. Yes, gone over 2 potential setups. There's obviously data wick setups on both ends here, both long and short. Again, there's no really, if you took the OB, you missed it. Took the inversion, is right here. Stop there. Target the low if you want. Data wick or the PY right below. And then you get your 1-to-1. And then what? You have a, I'd say this is more like a B impulse delivery. It's not A+. Alright, because we do have some bullish candles here. It's not basically majority imbalances, so if you want to take the impulse, you can, but price already went back to 50% premium here, so yeah, ideally you don't really want to have your stop loss, or sorry, limit order there, because you want to go in the higher time frame. And we have all this inducement here. And I think this is after FOMC. FOMC is this candle here. So you can use fundamental news bias if you want for direction. I personally don't usually do that. It's up to you. But there's a short here. There's an IFG short right there. PY is right here. Your entry is right here. And then you can just, even if you just go for a conservative target, there's your TP. And it's not like you're gonna long this. There's no reason to long here. And then you see the sell to buy. This is on the 1 hour. POC on the 30-minute 1 hour PY. There's also a 1 hour here if you want to use this. So if you use this, you probably would have taken this quick loss here. Not an issue here. And then you just take this next one here and boom. There's your money made back plus more. If you miss that, boom. There's no 3 of sword here plus more. And all this can just be learned from the course, as well as just screen time, back testing, and seeing different types of environments. Different types of price delivery, different types of what's the right word? Criteria. That makes sense. Sometimes you'll get setups where 100% mechanical. Sometimes there might be some nuance to it, but for the most part, keep everything mechanical as you can. Like data wick setups are 100% mechanical. If you want to take this data wick setup, I don't even think you could have on the seconds. There's impulse delivery, so you could have used the impulse model here. Stop loss is going to be a little iffy here, because your target is the opposing side, so you might have got 2 risk reward here. But that's what it looked like on the 1 minute. If you use the 15 seconds for impulse model, your entries here, stop loss, it could be here or this candle low here. It's up to you. If you're expecting this as an impulse model, it's fine to place it here just because you're expecting price to not retrace. And you're expecting this as a potential new OB, depending on how price closes next. So it's not a bad setup here. And then there's obviously your 3 sword. But again, realistically, not a setup I'd take. Was it 5 seconds or 15 seconds? Not something ideally I'd take. And then here, market's closed basically. There's no trades here. Obviously, if you want to take a continuation, you can here off this. This is not inducement because this slow did not make a new high here. And you're just trading mitigation cycle. But I'm not trading at this time. You would then just wait until market reopens at 6. Fortunately, you missed your entry by a few ticks. Alright, unless you just take a retracement here, it's up to you. But then you see price obviously gone up. Why? Because look, fully mitigated. Everything here is fully mitigated. I think the next mitigation point is just this. Yeah. That's the only next mitigation point. So with that, you can clearly tell you're drawing liquidity. We are also bullish. Pretty sure this is a new all-time high. Let's see. Nope, not yet. We are still trading at all-time highs, and you just want to trade with the trend. All right, trade with the trend. I didn't notice this before, but this is also in line with the daily demand. Again, 4 hour, you are not going to see this. That's why you switch time frames. Price is not always going to go to 4 hour or daily. All right, switch time frames, find something that looks clear. This looks pretty solid. Again, you're not going to know exactly which time frame PY is going to get hit. I'm just trading the reaction off of each one. So if this one fails here in the 1 hour, I'm going to wait till 4 hour gets hit or an internal sweep and then take it again. If it takes me 2 to 3 tries, it's fine with me because I'm trading with the trend. I'm not really worried about being entirely wrong in direction. Because in the uptrend, price can only liquidate so much before it has to go higher and make a new high. If you notice people that buy and sell and just hold long-term portfolios, price, their account balance and price in general, it's not going to be a straight shot up. There's going to be drawdown periods, and that's just retracement cycles of the market. But eventually, if you just keep holding, you're going to be in the positives. That's just how it works. Same way I view intraday trading, except obviously I don't have those massive stop losses, right? I'm just trading higher risk reward. It's letting math be on my side in terms of risk reward. If the risk reward is not on my side, math is not on my side, it's not going to look too good. If there's anything else you guys want me to cover today, let me know. I think, is there any other trades out here? I don't think so. Indicator's marking a lot of breaks and structures in the 1 minute. For the most part, the indicator structure one is not too bad right now. Except for not marking some things like this. This should be marked. Mechanically, it did not mark that. I believe this was a test run here, checking out how price, despite being inducement, before running it, it came all the way back down because no price mitigation occurred prior. So we had an OB entry model here, it's probably less likely to come all the way down here, but because this OB never got mitigated initially, if we just have a gap, it's not really a gap and go, I don't really have an explicit term for it, but it's just something I've been keeping an eye on. When we don't have an OB entry model that gets fully mitigated immediately, higher chance prices does come back and then give you that entry. So that's probably what happened here. And then some of you guys are getting stopped out too early. So getting stopped out too early, you ideally want to wait for sweeps first. Wait for this entry model to fail first, and then you take yours. This here is a stop hunter. You can also have your limit order set at here. It's basically, if you on the 5 seconds, this is just a liquidity sweep into a PY. It's the highest probability condition trade. These trades you can have limit orders and be just fine with your win rate. Now what happens here? We mitigate this, and unfortunately we went lower. Why? You sub liquidity. This low should make a new high for bullish still. It failed. Okay, that's fine. We failed again though. We failed twice. With 2 failures, it's a lot higher probability. We're switching direction now. So temporarily, you switch your bias bearish. So you can take this and then you can take this short. A lot of people would probably looking for shorting up here, but keep in mind we have inducement here and liquidity. So we have this inducement here, did not get ran, and we generated a new internal high here. It didn't make a new low, but it's internal liquidity here in the sense of structure. There's from a logical standpoint, you could think like this: there's enough money here to be taken out, to then let price mitigate what's next to continue lower. If we never made this here, immediately you took this inducement out, you probably would have mitigated this above. It's my thinking, but because we generated more liquidity, we're stalling in this area for much longer. More probability we just mitigate what's right above inducement. If it fails, that's fine, because I'm fine taking this loss here. If this short fails, then I'm just going to short up here. That short fails, I'm going to take a short off this sweep. But ideally we don't sweep this and we maintain structure here, knowing that we have liquidity here. Less reason to take liquidity up here, but it could happen. You just want to think of where most people are shorting, and you don't want to be shorting there. You want to wait until where most people are thinking of shorting to fail. For example, this high. There's not much else to cover today. I guess here's another example. For example, this would be your inducement here. But even before this inducement, There's a PY here because you can see this is inducement for the PY above, so then you can take a short off this. There's another short here, so there's two shorts here you could have taken. Both played out. But ideally, remember, you're trying to get back to 50% in this leg. And then there's... So situations like this, when price that delivers a lot of ranges, it's more wise to trade both sides. Because trade both sides, the reason why you trade both sides is there's more sweeps. You can see how if you take this short here off this, you actually get taken out here at 9:31 p.m., which is not news or anything. If this was news, it makes more sense. Nothing happened here. You just so happen to get taken out into the next PY right above to the tick. Now, using my strategy, you guys can't technically bottom tick and top tick. You could technically have a limit order here, cover it. You could technically make crazy RR targets and trades, and even have like almost no drawdown. But this isn't something I've tested extensively, so I don't have data on it. Hence, I'm more comfortable waiting for confirmation. But some people, some guys, you might be confident enough in your drawn liquidity, so you can do that. Also, another thing people brought up they wanted to see was like success interviews with with students. That's something else I can also start as a series on the YouTube. The only thing with that is I have to get consent from people or from the students. They feel comfortable or want to be on stream, or sorry, not stream, on YouTube. Some people just don't want to be on camera or on YouTube. Then I can't really do much there. We do have successful students that have already been funded. Some have been funded a while ago, but never been able to achieve a payout. But we do have students that have already payouts that I can interview. But again, it's up to them if they want to consent and feel comfortable being on camera. Ideally, they show their webcam. I think it's more professional if you can show your webcam. But if they don't want to identify themselves or whatnot, then you can't do much there. So there's some restrictions and limitations on doing like student success interviews, to be honest. Goat, appreciate it. Very good review. Glad to hear you are feeling better. Joined the course a couple weeks ago. Reviews and real-time videos are great. Yep, of course. I'm just hoping you guys are working towards or figuring out profitability. Because my goal is to have the highest success rate in the entire trading industry in terms of like getting people from zero. Some people are not from zero. Some of you guys join with 3 to 5 years of experience. So I'm not gonna say from zero, but in general, people to be consistently green month after month. I can show you guys real quick of one of the students that is currently working towards a 5-figure payout. So this is his bad testing. This is what we worked on together in the mentorship one-on-one private calls. Working on your first EA, first train robot, or evaluation, I guess. And then here is his month-to-month results. Oh, this is image too big. Hold on. Oh, let's try this. This image being pasted is way too large. Okay. I might have to just cut it out one by one. But yeah, here's his results from month to month. This is just from one of the one-on-one private mentorship students that I worked with in the past. He's on track currently to request a 5-figure payout, so above 10K across 5 different accounts. Evaluation account. If anyone out there is debating on taking a chance on a course, I can 100% vouch for this guy. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. But yeah, these are basically his back testing results. Again, his back testing before the mentorship was nowhere close to this. His win rate was about like 18%. Risk reward was about 3. Slightly red. After we'd gone over the 6 weekly mentorship calls, we gone over his trades, gave him specific mechanical feedback on what he's doing wrong, fixed things up, focused on only taking the A+ and A quality setups, a few B+, but mostly A and A+. Win rates drastically went up. 50% at 3 Sword is amazing results. Alright, my live trading is about 60% win rate at 3 Sword, 3 to 4. So he's getting pretty close to my live trading data, but with much less years of experience trading the system. Keep in mind, I started trading this strategy and system a few years ago at 40% win rate at 3 Year Sword. And by the way, that's not bad at all. Alright. That is about a 0.6 EV. And a 0.6 EV is equivalent to someone trading 80% at 1-to-1. So imagine being 80% right. It's pretty good. But yeah, worked with him. This is roughly his results after, I think, week 5-ish. All right. We were slowly keeping track week after week of his back testing results, doing new back tests, implementing the things I told him about, and now he already requested his first ever payout. He's on to his second 5-figure payout now. This is how you change your life with trading. You can either take it at your own pace through the course, or if you take in the course and you still feel like there's something missing in your trading and you can't figure out what it is yourself, you can check out the mentorship 101 program, and I can guide you to these stats. Again, this is also patience, right? This is backtesting data, but keep in mind, in real-time markets, you have to be patient to wait for these setups. If you're forcing trades, you're not going to achieve these results. Be patient, wait for a good opportunity, know when to trade and when not to trade. That's another thing I've worked with him as well. When to trade and when not to trade. Understanding and immediately recognizing when conditions are bad, when conditions are good for your strategy. This student here is, for context, he's trading main strategy, IFGs, OBs. He's not trading stop hunter at all. Some of you guys have been trading stop hunters and found them very successful, but this guy here, mainly trading my main setup. For those who are interested in the course, you can click the link here. If you're interested in the one-on-one mentorship, I opened up one spot recently. Had it closed for I think about a month-ish. But recently I did open up another spot to take on the other student. Yeah, it's been about a month. Closed it on August, 19th. So yeah, I do have one spot open if you guys are still struggling and want that one-on-one guidance. You can fill out the form so I can get back to you. But the pricing is on my website. Alright, it's not cheap. Nothing valuable is cheap in this world. My time is not cheap. But I try to give you guys like as much free help as I can here on streams at least. Obviously can't go over each person's 100, 200, 300 plus trades like my mentorship. That takes time. But I'm going to give some general advice on here. And the reason why I charge the price I charge also, some people don't understand, is because I think the way I trade is very different from a lot of people. The strategy and system of how I understand price and view the markets is also very different than other people. It's not something where I'm just like looking for a session high and low sweep, taking an entry opposite direction. I found something that works even better than that. That's why I have these other entries where, for example, that are not off session sweeps that can work just as good. Stop 104, 2.6. If you're just going to take session sweeps, you want to backtest that to make sure it works over the long run. But the point of session sweeps is just to keep things mechanical, but I mainly use them as confluence. If I'm bearish, for example, kind of want to see a session high, low, or high specifically to get taken. And if 2 session highs get taken, that's even more confluence. If we get 2 session highs taken plus tap into a 1 hour supply, that's even greater confluence. But yeah, the link is down below if you guys want to learn and join everyone else in the Discord. You get access to the course, and you also get access to the private Discord channels. And then, of course, I made the trading journal complete for free now for all course members, so you guys can all enjoy that. Hopefully it helps you guys out. The point I made it free is so I can help you guys out in terms of your self-learning. Probably learn a lot more at your own pace going over the trading journal, because it's not just a template, it includes all my past trades I've taken. So it could be something you can study once you finish the course. The course is not short. All right. If you think this is like a get rich quick scheme, it's not so that. It is, the course is 57 hours long. You don't have to watch everything, by the way. It's 57 hours long, but you don't have to watch everything. Because there's one section that's a psychology. If your psychology is fine, skip the psychology section, all right? And go straight to everything else, which is going over the system and the strategy. I'm really looking forward to seeing more payouts from you guys. If you haven't gotten your first payout, and let's say you're on like a funded account already, I'd highly recommend to go for the minimum amount that you need for the first payout request and go with that. There's no reason to shoot for a 5-figure payout your first payout. Yes, my other mentorship student is very close right now. He's almost at a 5-figure payout, but his first payout was not 5 figures. And I was the one that told him, I was like, don't shoot for the stars on your first payout. Just lock in your first ever payout. You feel success, you feel achievement. It'll prove to you that the money is real. Otherwise, you think it's just a number on the screen. So once it hits your bank account, it's like, damn, this is real money I generated from the markets. Just clicking buy and sell. That's a crazy thing to say, but it's true. So I always recommend go for like a small amount for your first ever payout, and then after that, do what you want. It's also going to be psychologically easier if you lock in that first smaller payout, because for most payouts you should be able to get paid out like your initial fees that you paid, activation, valuation fees, plus a few more. And then that's when you can stack 5 accounts, right? Multiple students currently are already max allocated at certain firms. And they're just grinding in silence. They're just trading in silence and stacking accounts. You don't have to reinvest everything, just reinvest a little bit. You can get a lot of accounts with that. But if you're not a mentorship student and you've gotten payouts, feel free to DM me. I'm very in touch with all the mentorship students through DMs mainly, because obviously we talked a lot already. I get to know everyone very well, where they are in their trading journey, whether or not they're max funded or whatnot. So do stay up to date with all the mentorship students. But if you're just a normal course member and you've gotten payouts and stuff, feel free to reach out to me. Or maybe if you just got funded, there's a section in the server where you can just give yourself the funded role. So you don't have to reach out to me to add that role anymore. But yeah, just reach out if you ever have some update on how you're doing in your trading career. NVMe said gonna get to studying the course. I'm out, man. Thank you for all the information. No problem. Probably gonna end here the stream in a bit here. Just very low energy. That's why I haven't been streaming too much recently, so I get better. But yeah, man. Again, if you guys are new here, there's a link to the free Discord. I just want to click on this link. Join the free Discord server. We are like 150 members away from the giveaway. So if you're looking forward to a giveaway and you want to win, you can invite your friends over to the server, get them in. We'll start like a raffle of some sort for the winners. And if you already have the course, don't worry, because if you win and you have the course ready, there's another prize for you. If you're trading ES and you're looking for upside, this is going to be my range here for you guys. This is your break. This is your range here. This is a simple way marking a range. If you want the advanced way, you find inducement. Mark the PR right below. It'll be like this. Otherwise, you keep it simple. But yeah, I'm gonna head out, guys, here. All right, I'll see you guys hopefully when I got more energy in the next stream. Hopefully we can catch some banger live trades together for the next stream. All right, see you guys in the free Discord. Peace.
Started charts in one hand held tight, following trends through the endless night. Dreams of fortune lit up so bright. In the world of numbers we take flight. Graphs and trades in a mystic glow, patterns dance in the ebb and flow. In this realm where few dare to go, we find the secrets only insiders know. Crave your dreams in the market sky, Essential Traders University. We reach for high with each tick and flick. We let it fly, chasing stolid profits, never asking why. Knowledge shared in whispers and chords, market dreams we craft in secret boards. Education blessed in story words, under Started charts in one hand held tight, following trends through the endless night. Dreams of fortune lit up so bright. In the world of numbers we take flight. Graphs and trades in a mystic glow. Patterns dance in the ebb and flow. In this realm where few dare to go, we find the secrets only insiders know. Trade your dreams in the market sky. Essential Traders University. We reach for high with each tick and flick. We let it fly, chasing stolid profits, never asking why. Knowledge shared in whispers and chords. Market dreams we craft in secret boards. Education blessed in story words. Under moonlight wisdom we traverse towards. Ethers call in a digital space. Risk and reward in a daring chase. Strategic moves we embrace and face. In this sacred sphere we find our place. Trade your dreams in the market sky. Essential Traders University. We reach for high with each tick and flick. We let it fly, chasing stolid profits, never asking why. Never asking why. Each tick and flick, we let it fly, chasing stolid profits, never asking why. Started charts in one hand held tight, following trends through the endless night. Dreams of fortune lit up so bright. In the world of numbers we take flight. Graphs and trades in a mystic glow. Patterns dance in the ebb and flow. In this realm where few dare to go, we find the secrets only insiders know. Trade your dreams in the market sky. Essential Traders University. We reach for high with each tick and flick. We let it fly, chasing stolid profits, never asking why. Knowledge shared in whispers and chords. Market dreams we craft in secret boards. Education blessed in story words. Under moonlight wisdom we traverse towards. Ethers call in a digital space. Risk and reward in a daring chase. Strategic moves we embrace and face. In this sacred sphere we find our place. Trade your dreams in the market sky. Essential Traders University. Each tick and flick, we let it fly, chasing stalling profits, never asking why. Started charts in one hand held tight, following trends through the endless night. Dreams of fortune lit up so bright. In the world of numbers we take flight. Graphs and trades in a mystic glow, patterns dance in the ebb and flow. In this realm where few dare to go, we find the secrets only insiders know. Crave your dreams in the market sky, essential traders university. We reach for high with each tick and flick, we let it fly, chasing stalling profits, never as